General J.B. Taylor graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant of cavalry and considers himself an armored cavalry officer. General Taylor had a 40-year military career, including assignments in Germany, Vietnam, and Saudi Arabia. During the Yellowstone Fires, he was the commander of the Joint Military Task Force Yellowstone, serving with Rick Gale in Area Command. In the following podcast, General Taylor describes the after-action review process he and his troops regularly used while on their Yellowstone assignment.
This is the package put together as the after-action review of the Department of Defense in supporting the Yellowstone Fires. Put together by my staff and some staff in Washington, D.C. And we consolidated by functional area, what the logisticians learned, what the Air Force learned, what the Marines picked up in their requirements to support the firefighting in Yellowstone.
General Taylor says after-action reviews are an ingrained practice in Army culture today.
Well, we had some enlightened general officers that were trying to improve the offensive capability of the Army. And so as part of their training, they started to train their subordinates and work with them on procedures and techniques. How can we pass this information to our subordinates so that we're all focused on the same objective? And as a result of that, they found out that the more we talk about after the end of each phase, how did it go? Why did it do this? You know, and we can have an exchange superior to subordinate to find out what in our system is not working optimally or the way it should be that caused this event to not to achieve what we wanted it to. So these smart general officers, General Starry and others, worked very hard throughout the Army to get this procedure injected, and it eventually became the after-action review and a procedure and was trained. This is how you do an after-action review. And then we went into the techniques about sand table rehearsals, staff rides, reconnaissance, personal reconnaissance. So some smart people got that started. And it happens at every level. Today when I was at a ceremony change of command, I went up to the commander of troops, because I've got a lot of time as commander of troops, after the end of the ceremony, and I asked this colonel how to go. And she laid out, well, you know, I made one mistake here, and this happened over here, and then the band didn't start at the right time. And so that little after-action review with a retired officer and the commander of troops, and when I showed up there, the command sergeant major of the 1st Corps had just gone over the same thing with her. So, you know, how'd it go? Essentially, it's after every part of the event. So whenever we're getting ready to close this fire camp, move to the next one, or a new battalion is coming in, they have to be briefed, moved, trained on their coal line, then put to work. We got an after-action review on each of those events and steps. Most cases, I'd go down to the subordinate unit that's undergoing one of these events, and I'd sit in while that commander is doing the after-action review with his guys. And so then I would inject those things, and then I'd take some of those things back to my staff and say, hey, we found out in the 1st and 11th Artillery, well, they're at the Yellowstone Fire down on this lake, this is the problem that they were having, getting organized to get ready to get on the buses to go to work. And so we passed that to the other units to see if they had that problem. Yeah, but it's a good process, and if as long as everybody's honest and upfront, what did we do good? What do we need to do in the future? What do we learn by doing this? Who did this? Why did you go this way? Why didn't the buses make it to the right stop? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Whoever was at the scene, tell us what happened. Why did you do this? What orders did you get?
When asked whether the Army would have organized a staff ride using the Yellowstone Fires, General Taylor replied, "You know it." On learning that a staff ride hadn't yet been organized, he commented, "You're kidding me," and issued fire managers a learning challenge.
Oh, the fire service guys, you got to get together and do that. Where were you? You know, where did we try to build a fire break? Why? What were the conditions that caused the fire to get so close to the old by the geyser? You know, why did that stuff get so close there? You know, be a great thing to do. Get some young guys to come with you, so just old guys don't talk about how it used to be in the old days, and so they can learn from that. But that's a good thing to be done. Put that on your list.
One of the most impressive procedures used by the Joint Military Task Force Yellowstone operation was the after-action review. General Taylor and his troops believed that a fire event involving military personnel wasn't complete until an AAR was prepared. Compared to the wildland fire services, the Army was years ahead in using this basic knowledge management process, now common throughout organizations dedicated to learning. David Garvin, an expert on learning in action at the Harvard Business School, says AARs are designed to make learning routine, to create, as one commander put it, a state of mind where everybody is continuously assessing themselves, their units, and their organizations, and asking how they can improve. AARs are now a more commonly practiced routine throughout the fire services, but as with any practice used over and over again, they can become so commonplace that they lose their original intent. Complete a quick audit of how you and your organizations are using AARs. Do you see areas that could be improved? Does your organization create, as David Garvin calls it, a state of mind where everybody up and down the chain of command, from the Washington office to the local initial attack crew, is continuously assessing themselves?